É sensacional, o jeito que ela faz comigo é fora do normal. Eu tô na zona de perigo. Foi beijando minha boca com a mão na minha nuca.
DJ TSK, tá ligado? O brabo tem nome.
Ela me pede, não para não. E vem sentando gostoso pro pai. E vem jogando de ladinho. Me joga, eu tô gostando. Ela me pede, não para não, meu bem. E vem sentando gostoso pro pai. E vem jogando de ladinho. Faz comigo é fora do normal. Eu tô na zona de perigo. Foi beijando minha boca com a mão na minha nuca.
DJ TSK, tá ligado? O brabo tem nome.
Ela me pede, não para não. E vem sentando gostoso pro pai. E vem jogando de ladinho. Me joga, eu tô gostando. Ela me pede, não para não, meu bem. E vem sentando gostoso pro pai. E vem jogando de ladinho.
Que tal um truque de mágica? Do já!
Nossa tropa tá presente, te explode no barril. Os cria tá presente, te explode. A nossa tropa tá presente, te explode no barril. Os cria tá presente, te explode.
Vai, toma, toma, vai, toma, toma, toma.
mentindo, menina. Eu sou artista focada e capacitada em tacar forte
Vamos
na
nessa,
sua
bebê.
vida. Eu já sofri por Não vai tomar. Agora o tu pisa lá no corpo do pai. Vai tomar. Pisa lá no corpo do pai.
It's us. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jamie Woods back at it with another motivational Monday live stream. Let's get it, guys. You know, I was talking about it this morning on my IG. I was saying that, man, like one of the biggest goals in life, man, is to basically make a Monday feel like a weekend. You know what I mean? Like kind of wake up and kind of forget that it's a Monday, because it feels like every other day. It feels like a vacation every day for you. You know what I mean? So that's really the goal, is to make every Monday feel like nothing, like it's not a Monday. You know what I mean? Like it's just a normal, regular day, like a vacation day, like you having fun with your life. You know what I mean? So that's really the goal on Mondays, because I know everyone dreads Mondays, and rightfully so. I totally get it. They're usually the worst days of the week, so I get that. But there's a reason why I make live streams on Mondays, man. It's because I want to set the tone for the week. You know what I mean? So set the tone for the week, ladies and gentlemen. I know it sucks. I know it's hard getting out of the bed on a Monday morning. It's always the toughest waking out of bed on the Monday morning. But the hardest part is getting out of the bed. Once you get out of the bed, you get in the car and you go to work, things get a little bit easier from there. You know what I mean? It's still hard, but it gets a little bit easier. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, is work your ass off, and basically try to create a life for yourself where it's so enjoyable and fulfilling that every single day feels like a weekend, even a Monday. All right. So let me just tone down the music a little bit. It's kind of distracting me. I'm not gonna lie, because I like to have background music, but sometimes it gets super distracting. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so before we get to our presentation today, I wanted to go over a couple things with y'all. First things first, support your boy. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to click on the like button. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping a live stream and when you know when I'm posting something. Because your boy tries to post up daily content every day. All right. So we're talking shorts, live streams, vlogs, videos. It don't matter. Your boy's gonna try to drop something every single day, no matter what. All right. So there's that. Speaking of posting, Against All Odds is coming soon. All right. So Against All Odds, episode 15, The World Is Yours, is coming soon. And it is a very special episode. And I can't wait for you guys to see it, because it's going to be a special one. It's going to be one of those highlight episodes. So very similar to I'm just thinking at the top of my head right now, episodes 8, episode 11. It's one of those type of episodes where it's gonna be a highlight episode. And originally, I was thinking of making episode 15 into 2 separate episodes, so 15 and 16. But then I was like, nah, man, I want a great episode. So then I was like, you know what? Let's put these two together. So I put them together, and it's a phenomenal episode. It's 80s themed. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. I love the 80s. And I was like, man, Barcelona is a little similar to Miami in some ways. I know it's more of a Miami thing to do an 80s theme. However, Barcelona gives me Miami vibes in some ways. I'm like, you know what? We can do this with Barcelona. And it's paying off. I really love what I'm seeing so far from the editing process of Against All Odds. It's almost finished. Hopefully by this weekend I can finish it, and it should be dropping very soon. The date should be coming extremely soon, so be on the lookout for that. But for now, check out Against All Odds episodes 1 through 14, now streaming on the Control Over Nothing YouTube channel, and of course the Jamie Woods YouTube channel. And of course I have a playlist for that, so check that out. The next thing is for my fellas, okay? Strictly for the fellas, for all my dogs. I got a Patreon. All right. I got a Patreon with exclusive interviews, eye candy, good content just for y'all. I made this just for the dogs. I didn't forget about the guys. All right. So, ladies, listen, this ain't for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't for y'all. I'm not gonna have y'all waste your money on that, but I'll let you know if things change with the Patreon. But for now, I want to make it strictly for the fellas. So it's going to be exclusive content, no holds barred, extreme rules type of content that you will not see on my YouTube channel for obvious reasons, okay? And for anyone that will be subscribing to the Patreon, you will know why it won't be posted on YouTube, all right? Only $5 a month, ladies and gentlemen, okay? You pay that much for a 4 for $4 in Wendy's, So I'm sure you pay $5 for amazing content on Patreon. I'll try to post up there twice or three times a week with solid material and content. The next thing is the merchandise, ladies and gentlemen, is cop the merch. All right. I show y'all this every week, but let me show y'all something real quick. And I should buy the other ones that I made. I just made a St. Patrick's Day hoodie. So it's basically it says no luck. Jeez, man, I hate that noise, man. I hate when that noise is so distracting. The St. Patrick's Day hoodie is not lucky, just blood. All right, because I believe in that. We're not lucky here. We work hard towards what we want. Okay, just because you work hard and life blesses you with certain things doesn't make you lucky. It just means you worked hard for it. Okay, so it's not lucky. We're just blessed. You know what I mean? But this isn't the hoodie I'm gonna show you. It's just a regular Jamie Woods logo. I can't even speak today, man. Feeling a little bit tired. I woke up super early for the gym this morning. But yeah, let me show you this real quick. So we got this hoodie over here. Bow. $40. Teespring. Of course, check out the back. With a barcode in the bottom. Of course, you guys can find that in the Teespring link, which is in the description. And of course, I have it in all different colors for my females. I thought about y'all too. All right. So all that is in the description center. So I have my St. Patrick's Day hoodie, that hoodie. I have what other hoodie? I got the self-care hoodie, which is actually very popular. I got a t-shirt. I got a mug. I mean, what else do y'all want? You know what I mean? Now, of course, I'll be coming up with new shit. In fact, I'm thinking of dropping some Against All Odds merch pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, guys, now that I went through all the promotions and stuff like that, and now y'all understand, to support your boy, let's go over what the premise of this live stream will be about. So today, ladies and gentlemen, will be about the benefits or the pros of dating overseas. All right. So I have dated overseas, I dated Arena for a good amount of time. It was a fantastic relationship, and I learned so much through that relationship. And there was so many great experiences and things that I got out of it. And I really want to talk about that real quick because I feel like, you know, a lot of the time when people think about dating abroad, they always think negatively about it. They're always like, "Oh no, that girl's just using you for your money. She'll gold digger. All these American people want to say these girls are uneducated. Those women from Colombia, those women from the Dominican Republic, those women from Brazil, those women from Latin America, those women from Eastern Europe are uneducated." That's what they always want to say. They hating. They hating because they know that these girls are winning right now. They're not uneducated. They're extremely smart. In fact, some of them are actually smarter than a lot of y'all in America. That's the crazy part. Y'all wouldn't be able, if I were to tell most Americans right now, where's Colombia? Where's Brazil? Where's Russia? Where's the Ukraine? Where's Poland on the map? They wouldn't even know what it looks like. They wouldn't even know where it is. They wouldn't even know what continent it is. They didn't even know what a continent is. They don't know what they don't know anything. They can't tell from a country from a continent. They can't tell anything. Y'all wouldn't be able to spot it in the fucking map, in the globe. But yet you're calling these women uneducated. That's very close-minded to call these women uneducated. They're very educated. In fact, when I was dating Arena, when I've talked to women from overseas, from other countries, these women are very smart. Sure, there's a language barrier. You know what I mean? Just because a woman has a language barrier doesn't mean she's stupid. You know what I mean? In fact, that actually makes her more intelligent because that means she knows, like I said before last week, she knows multiple languages. A lot of these girls from other countries speak 2 to 3 languages. Meanwhile, y'all only know one, and y'all calling them uneducated because when they speak, there's a language barrier, obviously, because it's not their native tongue. It's not the language they grew up speaking. They're still learning it. And the fact that they're speaking it so confidently, despite their shortcomings with the language, that says that's a lot. That's all you need. But y'all calling them uneducated because y'all think that America's the only rich country in the world. when there's other countries in Latin America that are actually thriving right now, you know? But like I said, there's a lot of negativity that right now is being put onto dating abroad and to foreign women, foreign men. And this specific live stream is basically to talk about all the great things and kind of tell people, hey man, like this isn't what you think. Dating abroad is great. It's phenomenal when done correctly. You know what I mean? Like obviously, if you pick, if y'all want to know the cons or the negatives of dating abroad, please watch last week's live stream. Okay. So I did talk about that because I just didn't want to talk about the good because not everything is good, right? And not everything is bad either, which is why I'm making today's live stream. But if y'all want to check out the negatives, in fact, I suggest that you do. Please check that out first and then check this one out. But I wanted to talk about the negatives because there are some negatives. There's some struggles of dating overseas. But trust me, there's a lot more pros than there are cons. There's a lot more benefits to dating overseas than there are um struggles or cons. And that's what today's live stream is about. Now, before I even get to the presentation, speaking of more, today's episode broadcast is only have four specific slides, 4 points. And I only made it 4 because knowing myself, I'm gonna be here for hours and hours and hours on end talking about each of these points. So because of that, I decided to just limit it to 4. Last week was 5, this week's 4. I know a lot of you, oh, but you only have 4 pros, and last week you had 5 cons. Bro, trust me, these 4 pros outweigh the 5 cons that I put last week. In fact, last week, some of those points that I mentioned, I was nitpicking. Some of those were nitpicks. These are just great points right here I'm about to mention about why dating overseas is fantastic. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should date overseas. I'm not trying to force you to date overseas. If y'all want to date local, if y'all want to date American women, if y'all want to date locally around here, that's fine. I'm not telling you, I'm not pointing a gun to your head and be like, hey, you should date overseas. No, I'm just saying, don't talk shit about it either. You know what I mean? There's some good things that comes with dating overseas. And and a lot of people won't admit that because either they're too embarrassed or they're a hater, you know? And coming from a man that has gone through a long relationship dating overseas, and I've talked to other women overseas, I think I'm a perfect candidate to talk about this, about my experiences and the things that I really loved about dating overseas. You know what I mean? So like I said, this isn't to tell people that you should be doing this, right? This is just to educate y'all on how it actually is to date overseas. Y'all know, because y'all gonna be going on TikTok and watching these haters, and they're gonna be telling y'all all sorts of BS about what happens overseas, and they never been overseas. They can't even tell you where Colombia or Brazil is on the map, but yet they're telling you that you shouldn't date overseas. Nah, bro, don't listen to them. So, the end of the day, date locally, but also remember that you do have the option to date globally. All right. Nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, the world is smaller than ever. You know what I mean? So you have options, especially as an American person, American individual, American man. You have options. So not only do you have the options here in America, locally, in your city, in your town, in your state, in your region, but you also have women from other countries that are dying to get to know you, that will do anything possible for you. That'll be the best wife, or I said wives, the best wife for you. Okay, so let's get it started, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to take too long here. I'm predicting the live stream or the broadcast should be about an hour and a half. Well, that's what I say now. It might end up being longer than that. We'll see. I try to make it 4 points just to make it a smaller presentation, but knowing me, it might go past. So we'll shall see, I guess. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the pros and the benefits of dating overseas, brought to you by your boy Jamie Woods. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. All right. So guys, I try to give you a PowerPoint. However, just like last week, I think my laptop is a hater. I don't think my laptop wants you guys dating overseas, which is why I wasn't able to upload this PowerPoint. I was very disappointed, just like last week. However, I make the most out of everything. The glass is always half full, not half empty. But anyways, guys, let's get to the presentation. So number 1 is dating overseas can be a breath of fresh air. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. I'm over the points. All right, so bear with me, ladies. I have to like really zoom in on this real quick. All right. Jesus, bro, I can't even see that shit. Hold on. So I'm not trying to say that dating in America is useless, but it has become very toxic to the point where a lot of people are playing games. Overseas, you deal with a lot less of that, and you deal with people who are more upfront about what they want. Okay. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is one thing that I've noticed about dating overseas is that you're dealing with less BS and less toxicity. Does it mean that you're 100% not going to be dealing with these things? No, because I have met women and people from other countries that are very toxic. They're very toxic individuals. Yes, toxicity isn't just American. It's not exclusive to America, right? This is across the board. However, what I realize is you're more likely or less likely to deal with an individual that's toxic dating overseas because they grew up differently, right? In America, everyone's so damn hurt and bitter and angry at the other person. And we have all these songs promoting strength and independence from each other, right? We shouldn't depend on one another. Fuck the other gender, males versus females. It's like a gender war that we have over here. It's like everything wants you to go against the other gender over here. It's ridiculous. However, in other countries, it isn't like that. In other countries, they teach men, they teach women to love one another, that they need one another, that they, for the most part, should be honest with one another about what they want, that they should be upfront, that what I mean, like if they like each other, pursue each other. It's a whole different culture overseas, and because of that, dating is a lot more healthier overseas, in my personal opinion. Again, doesn't mean every single person you're gonna meet is a good individual. There are still bad individuals overseas. I'm not gonna lie to y'all either, right? As I mentioned before in my podcast or my live stream from last week. However, you are less likely to deal with this overseas, depending on the country you are in. So, what I notice is, like I said, women are more upfront overseas, which is kind of like it takes you by surprise as an American. Because not saying that women can't be like that way here in America. And again, this isn't an American woman or man bashing video. It's really not. I love my American women, of course. I'm not trying to bash American women, but something that I noticed in a decent amount of American women is they trying to play games to the very end. They trying to play games like it's kind of like it's like, does she love me? Does she not? Does she love me? Does she not? Like every fucking date, it's like you don't even know what the hell's happening. You don't know if this girl likes you. You don't know if she like you don't know if she hates your guts. You have no idea where this girl stands with you. And then if you do communicate with this, if you do communicate this with her, she acts all weird about it. So it's just a bunch of games that's being played. She's probably talking to other people because she probably thinks you're talking to other people. It's like it's like the man and the woman are trying to one up each other all the time. I'm not trying to make this into a woman thing because it's not. Both men and women do the same shit. They're always trying to one up each other and try to see who can manipulate the other one more, beat the other one more, or make it seem like they're the winner in the relationship or the date or whatever. Flaking is super high, ghosting is super high in America. It's almost to the point where you can't even approach anyone here. It's like you try to approach someone and they're gonna look at you crazy. Like, what you doing? Go on Tinder. I've had guys. This is one thing, and this is how I know the dating culture here has gone to shit. I mean, it's not completely wasted, but it's gone to shit because I made a video about men approaching women. I said that men should never throw away the option of approaching women. I think at the end of the day, that's one of the most masculine things you could do in dating is approaching a woman. This has been going on since day one. A man likes a woman. A man approaches the woman. He pursues what he wants, right? Just like the career, you pursue your career, you pursue everything else. Why can't you pursue a woman? Not chase a woman, but pursue her. There's a difference between the two. You know what I mean? So I encourage men. I made the video because I wanted to encourage men to approach more women. And then men and women in the comment section over here hating, saying, no, that's what Tinder is for. I don't do that. I ain't trying to pick up no charges. Right. And this is coming because a lot of men fear rejection. A lot of men have gotten used to dating apps. And then on top of that, a lot of men have a lot of trauma and bad experiences with approaching women in America. You know what I mean? And it goes both ways. Both men and women are to blame for this, right? Because you do have a lot of women out there that really make it harder for other women, right? There's a ton of women in America that do want to get approached. They do want to get approached by a man that they like, but that man won't approach her because of his past experiences, right? Because some women get annoyed because they get approached, or some women are on an ego trip where they want to be able to turn down a man or whatever stupid reasoning that they have. So because of that, they hurt the man, and then the man kind of is like, you know what, F approaching women. I ain't gonna do this shit. I'm gonna stick to Tinder. So when a man like myself tells men that, hey, you should approach women, they look at me crazy. Like, nah, bro, like I did that shit before and it didn't work. Or right? That's how you know this shit's gone to shit. Because I do that shit overseas and I get the best results. In fact, overseas, it's the opposite. In my opinion, it's the opposite overseas. I'm not saying that dating apps ain't good, but dating apps you could get set up, right? Because let me tell you this. This actually is a con of dating overseas, is that while dating apps are still a useful tool overseas, the problem with dating apps is you have a lot of working girls on there, right? So working girls mean several different things. You have your hoes that are just there so they can get money off of you for their services. You have the tour guides who literally, no offense to the tour guides, right? I'm not trying to talk smack about my tour guides. I love my tour guides. But you have the tour guides that will literally just match with you just to get money off of you by showing you the city, right? So they're not looking to do anything for you or with you. They just want to show you the city and get their money, right? So it's literally like a friend, like a buddy for a day or two or a week. And several other different type of women. You have your fake, of course, your fake accounts. And then you have those women that are trying to set your ass up. They're trying to set you up, like what's going on in Colombia and Medellin, right? Where they're setting these dudes up to get robbed and killed. And so, as men, you got to be very careful with that type of shit overseas, which is why I'd rather just approach women overseas. You like a chick, you see she's single, you see she's not with nobody, like a dude or anything like that. See what's up. Approach her, be like, hey, how you doing? My name is Jamie Woods. Nice to meet you. How are you? How are you doing today? I thought you were beautiful. I wanted to approach you. What are you doing tonight? Something simple. Doesn't have to be all complicated. Y'all overcomplicate the game. But yeah, you could do that out there. I'm not saying you're not gonna get weird looks from time to time. You may. Maybe some women just don't want to be approached. However, you're less likely to deal with the BS overseas than you are here in the States. You know what I mean? Like, women are used to being approached over there. They're used to, if they like you, they gonna demonstrate. That's another thing that I was gonna get to, is that they're more upfront in other countries than they are here. In other countries, they don't really play games like that. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. Right. But of course, you have your gold diggers and those type of women, right? That's kind of in the middle there. But for the most part, if they like you, they like you. They don't. If they don't like you, they're not gonna go on a date with you. They're just not. You know how like some girls here in the States will still go on a date with you just to get a free meal or to see how it goes, but they're kind of unsure of you, so they go on a date and they're like, you know what, I don't like this guy. Fuck it, free meal, right? In other countries, it don't work that way. It's kind of like, I like you, so I'm gonna go. I don't like you, I won't go. I'm not gonna waste your time. And I like that. I prefer it. It may seem rude at first, but at the same time, you save your money, you save time, you save energy, and you could use that towards another individual. And I actually would rather have it that way than someone that's unsure still comes on the date with me. And of course, it can always work out at the end, but for the most part, it doesn't. You know what I mean? For the most part, think about it. How many dates have you gone with? I mean, ladies, this is mostly a question for the ladies. How many dates have you gone on where you're unsure about a dude, you end up going and it succeeded? Not many, maybe a couple. You probably count a few in your hand, but for the most part, you end up not liking the guy. And then you just leave, you ghost, and on to the next. This doesn't happen as much overseas. Another bullet point I was going to get to. Well, yeah, all right, let's talk about how upfront these foreign women are. I met a lot of foreign women that are very upfront. If they like you, they gonna let you know. They gonna let you. I surprisingly enough, I've had many women overseas that have told me, "I think you're attractive. I think you're cute. I think you're like handsome, whatever the case is." And it shocked me because I'm like, I'm not used to getting these type of compliments from women out here in the States. Maybe the girls out here in the States probably think the same, but they're too they do not want to swallow their pride and say something like that. They really don't. They kind of want to hold it together because they don't want to look like a fool. You know what I mean? So, but in other countries, they don't give a damn. If they like you, they're gonna be direct about it. Yeah, I like you. I think you're cute. What's up? You know, what's your name? They're very upfront and direct. And so, one thing that I noticed, and I talked about this with one of my boys, was because I've dealt with so many women overseas recently, and they're so direct about their feelings, and they're so direct with their intentions. Because they're so damn direct, it rubbed off on me. Because before I wasn't that direct because I was used to the mind games, right? You got to pretend like you don't like them, but you actually do. And, you got to pretend like you're busy, but you're actually not. And all these dumb games that we play over here in America, right? I started getting used to like if a girl texts me, I text them like that. If I'm interested, I'll let them know. Let's go on a date. I think you cute. I started getting used to being very direct, like they are with me. And then I used that in America, right? Because I forgot. I'm like, shit, I'm in America because I would date here in America and I would date overseas. And so I would use that game overseas here in America. And girls would be looking at me all crazy. Like, what the hell? Like, I'm not used to a dude telling me straight up how he feels about me and da 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 da. And it will turn them off in a sense because they're not used to such directness from a dude. They'd be like, "What you want?" I told him straight up, "Listen, maybe I've gone through those days of the f boy stuff. I don't want to do that no more. I just want something serious. Of course, down the line, I want to see where things go. And the fact that I was able to map it out like that and be direct about what it is that I wanted and about my past in a sense, they weren't used to that, and so it turned some women off. And the thing is, I was like, wait a second. See, this is the issue. Is I'm taking I'm literally because I've dealt with all these women overseas and they've been so direct with me and being direct with them has succeeded. I took that here. I almost forgot how it was in the States because I kind of took a break, kind of a little bit of a break from dating in the States. I took that game and I put it here in the States, thinking, uh, literally forgetting that that type of shit doesn't work here, and it didn't work. Right? Obviously, it didn't work. The directness doesn't work. You have to be kind of be indirect here to a sense, right? Unless you that dude. But that's the thing is that being up front in the States doesn't work as much as it does overseas. Overseas, being up front actually works. You can tell a girl that she's beautiful and it's fine. If she likes you, you'll make her fucking day. It's okay for a woman to come up to you and be like, I think you're beautiful. You don't really see that happen to here in the States like that. But that's the thing is that everyone's more upfront in overseas. All right, hold on. This phone is distracting me. Let me turn that shit down. When nothing's going on, like you're not busy, nobody texts you, nothing's going on. But the minute you start doing something, that's when everyone starts texting you. That shit's mad annoying. All right, so for men and women are more affectionate and loving. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So public display of affection is huge, right? When I went to Spain, it was huge. Turkey, not so much because it's a little bit more conservative, but I did see it from time to time. But Spain, you'd be having people like making out in the middle of the street. I know Brazil's like that too. Colombia, I know some of these Latin American countries are very public display is a very big thing in those countries, right? That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot of people here in America are kind of like cold and bitter because of their past relationships, and has made them to a point where They don't even want to be affectionate towards anybody no more because they ain't trying to get hurt. They ain't trying to get close to you. They're not trying to make no more special memories with you, like with other guys like that, because they don't want to get hurt, or vice versa. But with women or men from other countries, they don't give a damn. A lot of them have been through a lot of great relationships, a lot of great experiences. You know what I mean? Not saying that they haven't been hurt. They have been hurt, but they still are very affectionate, and they're affectionate by nature. They're loving by nature, and they're not going to hold that back. If they really like you, they're going to show you. And I really love that about dating overseas. It's so different. I'm not used to being on a first date with someone and having them, snuggle up on you and touch you and all that type of stuff, kiss you within 15, 20 minutes of the date. You know what I mean? That's strange. In America, that doesn't happen. You'd be lucky to get a kiss by the end of the day on the first date. You'd be lucky to get this girl to hold your hand or whatever. I know a lot of guys, oh, that's simp behavior. I don't care about that. Da, 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 da. All right, bro, that's something. Before, like I said, you have to think about women and dating as a vehicle, right? When you get into the vehicle on a cold day, on a cold night, you're not just going to start up the car and drive it. You need to let the car warm up, and then you drive it after some time. The same thing when it comes to escalation, like sexual escalation, right? You can't just go from saying hello to clapping cheeks. And there needs to be a B, C, D. There needs to be a map or a pathway there. It can't just be A to Z. A lot of y'all are, oh, I don't touch girls, I don't kiss girls, I don't do it. Man, bro, stop being a puss. Like, I hate when people say that type of shit. I don't kiss girls, I don't touch girls, I don't do foreplay, I don't do. I'm like, go ahead, bro. Do you, bro? Do whatever you like, bro. But that's not you're not gonna have much success with that. Maybe some girls will fall for that BS, but you're not gonna have much success with that type of shit. You have to warm a chick up. All right. Women are not like light switches, right? Men are like light switches, meaning on and off, right? We'll be off at one point, and then you just flick the light on, right? You just flick the switch and it's on. We get turned on. But women are way different. Women, it's kind of, you gotta take your time. It's like a vehicle on a cold day. You gotta let it warm up. You gotta let it warm up, and then you drive. But a lot of y'all have the wrong impression. Y'all don't want to be doing none of that bullshit, right? That's the problem too. Is y'all, some of y'all fellas are the problem too, not just the women, but the fellas. You know. But besides the point, women overseas are like this. So when you do go overseas and you start talking to women overseas, you're gonna start to notice that if they really find you attractive, if they like you, they will demonstrate that physically, verbally, sexually, whatever the case it is, but they will demonstrate that. And it might shock you a little bit because you're probably not used to such a thing. But just know that's one of the benefits of dating overseas is you're not gonna get no games. They're more upfront about their intentions. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna demonstrate their attraction for you one way or another. It's just clear. Everything's clear for the most part, right? With a good woman, right? Because you still got those bad apples overseas, but for the most part, it's everything's clearer. There's no games. There's less games overseas. So that's why I say that dating overseas is a breath of fresh air, because it's kind of like something new, something different, something healthy. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't do none of this shit over here in the States like that. You can't do that type of shit around here. You know what I mean? In order for you to gain any type of, or not even, in order for you don't really see. I'm trying to really formulate the words here, but most of the dates you're gonna go on, you're not gonna really get that type of experience. You know what I mean? Yes, you will still get it. You will still get those dates where you guys are head over heels for each other from minute one. You know what I mean? But for the most part, that doesn't happen as much, especially on a first date. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is dating overseas can be a breath of fresh air. Okay. So number 2 is learn more about the world. Okay. So it's not just about the woman, but it's about the experiences and the things you're learning on top of that. Okay. So not only is dating overseas a great experience, but it forces you to learn more about the world and other cultures. It opens your mind about a lot of things that maybe you were once against. Okay. So here's what I mean is there's a lot of things I didn't know about the world until I started dating overseas. I didn't know much about Turkey. I didn't know much about Europe. I didn't know much about the world. I didn't know much about the connection or languages. There's so much stuff I didn't know about food, cultures, none of that. And I learned all that by dating overseas and going overseas and traveling. Because that's the thing is, you may think you know it all up until you go overseas. You're like, wait a second, I actually don't know it all. Some of the things that you think about other countries aren't actually true. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to come up with some examples here, but you know what I mean? Like that's why traveling overseas is very important because it educates you. No book, no videos, no movies will teach you as much as your own experiences when you're in these places. And the best person to show you these things is the girl that you're dating from that country. Because they're it's almost like, in a sense, they're your tour guide. So they're gonna show you all the local places where all the locals are at. They're gonna introduce you to a bunch of new foods that you probably never tried out in your life that you'll probably end up loving over time. They're gonna probably even teach you a thing or two about their own language, meaning that you're gonna start to become bilingual or even trilingual. They're gonna teach you about the history of their country. Maybe some things you probably didn't even know, right? A lot of these American school teachers teach you surface level shit about the world. You know what I mean? It's crazy because the rest of the world knows so much about America, but America doesn't really know much about the rest of the world. And the reason for that is because America is so self-contained. We kind of live in a bubble here in a sense. Everything's so self-contained here. Everything is about America, America, America. The rest of the world sucks. The rest of the world ain't on our level. Da, 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 da. We're the best country in the world. So because we're the best country in the world, we don't gotta learn about. We don't got. What's it called? We don't gotta learn about much shit from the rest of the world, right? All we gotta do is just learn about America, and that's it. Because we're the best country in the world. Fuck learning about other countries. Where everything's so self-contained here in a bubble. But when you speak to people from other countries, they know a lot about the US, the United States, and the history, the culture. They know so much. They studied this. What I mean? They're fascinated by our culture. And of course, they studied other countries too. Not just America, but other countries. They know about other countries. And so I feel, why isn't our school system teaching us about other countries too? Why is it just about America? What I mean? Like it's full detail about America, and then the rest of the world, it's surface level stuff that you could just learn on Google. You know, but that's the thing is, when you are dating a foreigner, they're gonna put you on to a lot of different things: their culture, the dances, the traditions, right? Certain holidays that you've probably never heard of. You know, like I told y'all last week, there's a holiday in Russia. I think it just passed. It's in March, where the men in Russia, just is Women's Day or whatever. The men in Russia buy women flowers and gifts and just randomly drop it off at their workplace and leave. Like, it's kind of like Valentine's Day on steroids. And at first, I got a little mad about that. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? Why is this guy dropping off flowers and shit? Then after a while, I'm like, you know what? That's just tradition. That's just the way it is in Russia. And I learned something. I didn't know that before. There's so many things about, and that's the thing is, I don't know how YouTube feels about someone talking about Russia. You know what I mean? But there's so many things about Russia that I learned that I didn't know beforehand. Right? I was taught that Russia is a poor place, a bad place, and then you date a Russian and you start to really educate. You start to get more educated about things, and not just about Russia, but just everything around Russia, the Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan. All these countries in Eastern Europe and even Asia that I've never heard of in my life. And I wouldn't have known any of this or known about any of this if I didn't date a foreigner. So not only is it a great experience, but it's educational as well on top of that. So that's another benefit. So let me see. So yeah, you may learn another language. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, is try your best to try to learn as many languages as you can. Like, my thing is 2 to 3. It's important to know a couple languages, you know what I mean? Because it's useful. If people from other countries can learn multiple languages and speak fluently in multiple languages, you could do the same. It's great. It's a flex to be able to speak multiple languages. You know what I mean? And the best way to do that is dating a foreigner. Therefore, tell that foreign woman. In fact, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is what y'all need to understand about foreign women is they love, 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 love. And the foreign women, honestly, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. So foreigners, not even just women, not even just foreign women, but men as well. But I've noticed this with foreign women is that they love to teach an American man or just a person from out of their country. They love to teach them their language. They love it. It's like their love language. Once you tell them, hey, listen, can you be my professor? Can you be my teacher? I want to learn Spanish. I want to learn Portuguese. I want to learn Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, whatever the language is. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll be your professor. And they'll teach you. They love that. They love to be able to put you on. They love to teach you about their culture. Ask them about their culture. Ask them who's the president? How does the government work? What are your customs? What are your traditions? What's your favorite holiday in this country? How do you guys celebrate Christmas here? What do you guys, you know what I mean? Like go over that stuff with them. They love that. They love to put you on. They love to teach you about their culture. They love to teach you about their history. That fascinates them to be able to put you on and show you. You know what I mean? Same thing with you. When you tell them, hey, I want to show you more English. I want to show you American culture. I want to show you how we do things over here in America. That fascinates them. It goes both ways. That's their love language, man, is educating you and for you to educate them. I'm putting y'all on right now. That's international game right there. You know, that's not many people ain't gonna tell you that. They're just gonna say, "Oh, I'll learn the language." But what they don't understand is when you tell a woman from a different country, I want to be able to learn your language, especially if she's interested in you. That's a great thing, man. That girl's gonna be like, oh man, this guy wants to be one of us. He wants to be able to communicate with me in my native tongue, you know, because it's not fair at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It's not fair when you both know English, right? So the both of y'all know English, but the both of y'all don't know her language. So let's just say she's from Colombia. So she knows English, you know English, but she knows Spanish, you don't know Spanish. And you don't even attempt to learn Spanish. She's gonna be like, what the F? Like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me in Spanish. He don't want to talk to my family. He don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, he's not trying to get immersed in my culture, but he expects me, my bad. He expects me to get immersed in his culture, but he ain't doing the same for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she may not feel like that in the very beginning, but over time, it's gonna affect the relationship a little bit. So when you tell that woman, hey, I want to know more about your country, I want to learn your language, listen, man, that woman's gonna be head over heels for you. She's like, yeah, this is the type of man that I want. I want a man that wants to fully immerse himself in my culture and my country, that wants to learn about my country. You know, that's a great thing, man. You have no better teacher, no better tutor than the girl that you're dating to show you that language. 1 hour a day, 30 minutes a day. Sit down with her somewhere and talk about things. You know, I'm gonna try to practice your skills in that language every day. And sure, it might take a while, but trust me, man, over time, you'll be fine. But yeah, learning about the world is one of the pros that will happen whenever you are talking to a foreigner. And there are many things I could talk about this, but I don't want to be here all day, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, number 3 is seeing them, right? So, traveling to see them is always an experience, right? So, this is kind of hopping off of the last one. So, you don't see them as much because of the distance, right? So, you're not going to always see them as much. You're probably only going to really see them twice, 3 times, 4 times, maybe 5 or 6, maybe more than that if you get the money a year. So, you're not going to see them all the time. So, it's going to be a lot of time y'all going to be separated from each other because of the distance. But when you do, it's always an amazing experience, and making up for the lost time can be super fun and passionate. So that's the thing, is that when you go a long time without seeing this individual and you're just everything's digital, right? So you're texting them, you're FaceTiming them, you're calling them, right? It ain't the same. It don't hit the same. Like, it's great to hear their voice and it's great to see them on the screen and it's great to text them and get good morning text and good night text. It don't hit the same as when you see them in person. So when you finally see them in person again in the airport and you kiss them for the first time, you give them a hug, you smell their perfume, their cologne for the first time in a long time. That this is something about that, man. Just it spikes up your dopamine. I don't even know what word it is, man, but you just in cloud nine at that point. Because this is someone that you love that you haven't seen so long time in such a long time. You know what I mean? That you've been dying to see them again. You know what I mean? Your last time you hung out with this individual was an amazing experience. And this time around, you see him again, and you know you're about to get another amazing experience. And that's what happens is y'all will always make up for the lost time. So you could probably only have 1 or 2 weeks in Colombia or Brazil or wherever you're at. And those 2 weeks will be the best 2 weeks ever. Y'all make sure y'all squeeze in as much possible in those 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Seeing family, going on ventures, going places, the sex, whatever the case is, right? Y'all gonna make sure y'all squeezing as much as possible in those 2 weeks, making it a very exciting and passionate 2 weeks. Because it's similar to how, think about it this way. Imagine, you went to jail for a couple years and your girl's been waiting for you to get out for a long time. And maybe she does visit you and you do get to see them, right? But you can't touch them. You can't do much, right? Because there's a barrier there between y'all, right? You're in the jail. Finally, you get out the jail and y'all gonna make up for that lost time, right? The sex about to hit crazy, the dates about to hit crazier, the conversation's gonna hit even better. Like so much stuff are just gonna spike because you two haven't been together in such a long time. And it's the same way when you haven't seen this individual in a long time. Finally, you land in their country and you see them and you hang out with them and you go on a dinner date with them and you in the bedroom with everything's just so much passion. Like there's so much passion involved with everything that you guys are doing because it has been a very long time since y'all done it. And number two, y'all trying to make sure that you get everything out the way before you leave. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that everything is done. You're making every single minute, every single second count because your time is limited. It's a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the hourglass. The hourglass with sand on it. It's kind of like, all right, it's full of sand now, but one day that sand's gonna run out. And that's the thing is y'all trying to really make every second count because that day is coming. The day of you going to the airport and separating from them is coming. So y'all trying to get everything out the way and make sure it's a great and memorable time. You know what I mean? And so this individual, this woman is gonna make sure she's gonna take you to the best places. And that y'all really take advantage of the time that you got. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And I always recommend for my guys, try to come up with an itinerary with this individual, with whoever person you're dating. Come up with an itinerary with them. Maybe it's a actual getaway for the both of you. So maybe you're gonna meet up in a different country, right? So me and Arena, for example, Arena's from Russia. I'm from the States. We met up in Spain. We met up in Turkey. So it's not Russia, and we're not in America, but we're in another country. So it's like a getaway for the both of us. So because of that, because I don't know the country and she don't know the country, we're gonna come up with an itinerary. So that's another thing is, you know, itineraries definitely save a lot of time because if you don't come up with plans and a list of things to do, you're gonna have to end up doing it there or just winging it, and then your trip may not be as memorable because you didn't educate yourself on that country, right? But those vacations, when the both of y'all are going somewhere together, somewhere different together, in some ways that might be even better than going to their country, right? The first time, obviously, you need to go to their country. You want to get an idea of where they're living, their family, whatever the case is, their culture. But the second time around, maybe y'all going on a vacation together. You're going somewhere different. That shit gonna hit crazy because there's a whole new experience for the both of y'all. Because when you're going to her country, she's gonna get a lot of enjoyment in showing you her country, right? And showing you her culture. But the second time around, it might get a little old. It's like, all right, I showed him this already. I did this with him already. We're just repeating everything we've already done, you know. But when you guys go to a different country, it's a brand new experience for the both of y'all. And because it's a brand new experience for the both of y'all, it's exhilarating. It's fun because you're both discovering things for the first time together, right? When me and Arena went to Spain together, it was phenomenal. Where it was like we've never been to Seville, right? I never been to Seville. She never went to Seville. So seeing the things that we did for the very first time was a great time, man. It was phenomenal. That's what made Seville so special. because none of us have been there before. So we were experiencing that for this, we were experiencing that for the first time. And it was a dope time, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was a really dope time seeing everything and going through the culture shocks and the funny moments we experienced together at that moment. And that's one thing, guys, is just get prepared for some amazing experiences whenever you're seeing this individual. You just always know that you guys will make up for the lost time, and it's gonna hurt at the end when you do leave. However, it was all worth it, because that experience, when you do get back to the States, you think about those memories y'all made, is priceless. You can't put a price on that shit. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is that, and that's the difference, is that when locally you'll never get those highs. Like, sure, you'll get highs here, but it won't be like you're combining traveling to a different country. So traveling and the love of your life together. You can't beat that combination. The only way you would is if the girl that you're dating here and you leave the country, right? But there's nothing like being outside the country with a foreign woman. There's nothing like it. It's a phenomenal experience. All right. So that's number 3, is seeing them is always an experience. Right. So number 4, and let me just double check the time real quick. So we're at almost the hour mark here. So I was right. I said an hour to an hour and a half. All right. So number 4 is everything is cheaper overseas. Okay. So, and that depends on the country you're going to. So depending on when your partner, or depending on where your partner is from, your US dollar may be very valuable there, meaning that you can be able to do things with her that you would hold on, that would be 4 times the money in America. All right, so you're able to stay at the best places, do the best activities, and eat at the best restaurants without breaking the bank. So that's one thing about dating overseas that I love. Probably I say this one for last because it truly is a huge benefit to dating overseas. Because the thing about here in the States is that a dating can be very expensive, right? Like, literally, you're going on a date with a chick and you're spending $100 prior for the meal, right? Because you're paying for her and you, drinks, everything involved, $100 prior, right? Almost $100 or over $100, depending on where you go. Then on top of that, you're probably gonna do an activity either before or after that, right? So bowling, laser tagging, go karting, whatever it may be, movie, cinema. Even the cinema is expensive. You go to the cinema, you're paying for the tickets. The tickets, $40 for the both of you, right? $20 each, $40 for both of you. Then the popcorn, you get a popcorn. That popcorn gonna be like $20 on top of the soda or sodas, which will be another fucking 20 or 30, however much, bro. Now you're spending an arm and a leg for snacks, right? Go karting. There's a go kart spot here by me, $100 per person for only one race. Everything here in America, not saying is bad. Like, there's a lot of great shit here to do. You know what I mean? A lot of great shit. Bro, if you have money in America, you're gonna have a lot of fucking fun here. America has so much abundance. That's one thing about America that no other country has, is we have abundance. There's an abundance of activities and abundance of things to do here in America. But the only way those doors will open up for you is if you got the moolah. If you got the money. If you don't got the money, they're not opening up for you. Right? So if you're broke, good luck trying to do all these cool things. You're not going to be able to do it. You're going to be able to do Chuck E. Cheese's, maybe a little bowling thing here or there, a little Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, you're not going to be able, or hotel room. Maybe you'll stay at a little motel room, a hotel room for one night, maybe, because that's all you can afford. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about America, is there's a lot of great things here to do. Don't get me wrong. However, you need the funds to do it. And right now, with how this economy is, not many people can do these things, right? There's still a lot of people here with money. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people here with money. But at the same time, there's a lot of people here with no money that are living paycheck to paycheck, that don't even have $1,000 in their savings account for an emergency. Right? So what makes you think these people are going to be able to do all this cool activities and all this cool shit? Meanwhile, in Latin America, in some parts of Europe and Asia, other places in the world, You're able to do amazing things for a fraction of the price that you would do it here in America. Like when I went out to Turkey, we stayed in the best places. Literally, like the hotel. You guys can check it out. Episode 11, no, episode 10 of Against All Odds. Well, it's 10 and 11. Episode 10 of Against All Odds. We stayed at this beautiful apartment in Istanbul, literally in the city center. Right. So as soon as you get out the apartment, the Galata Tower is right there. Literally, Istiklal Street is right over there. Galata Tower right there. Everything close by. We didn't even need to take taxis or Ubers because everything was just close by. We're in the city center. In any single country, in any single city in the world, if you're staying in the city center, you do understand that's going to be the most expensive part of any city is the city center. Imagine staying somewhere in Times Square in New York City. A lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? So we got to stay there and we only paid a couple $100. You know, it was a self check-in, self checkout. We didn't have to deal with anybody. Very modern. Elevators are spacious and cool because, as y'all know, in Europe and Asia, these elevators are super small. Beautiful home. It's very spacious. Beds were comfortable. Very nice bathroom. It was a great ass apartment. We got to go to 5-star restaurants. We went to this one restaurant called 360 Istanbul. And guess how much we paid? Guess how much I paid for that date, right? And the thing is, this is the most expensive restaurant in Istanbul. $100 for the both of us. $100. Now that $100 in America would probably just get me Cheesecake Factory, a normal average restaurant. However, in Istanbul, that got me the best restaurant with the best view and the best vibes. And that's on the high side, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of restaurants in Istanbul that are 5 stars, amazing view of the ocean, amazing food that you'll only probably pay 30 to 40 US dollars for. That's unheard of here in the States. Good luck trying to find a top end place in the United States of America for 30 to $40 for 2 people. And I'm talking about dessert, right? I don't know why I mentioned desserts first, but dessert, entree, appetizer, and hella drinks. Try finding a spot like that with a great view, by the way, and great service. Try to find a place like that for 2 people, right? You and your date for 30 to $40. Try to find a spot like that here in the States. Practically impossible. Practically impossible. You go to the South, you go to the middle, the Midwest, wherever, and you probably wouldn't find a spot like that. It doesn't exist here, really. But in other countries, you have that possibility. You can go out, and that's another thing is you can go out to these restaurants almost every night and be able to afford it because they're so damn cheap compared to here in the States where they're so damn expensive. You probably only go out once a week if you're lucky, and that's if you're lucky. I know some people that can't go out once a week at all. They don't got the money to do that. They have to go once a month because that's the only thing they can afford. And that's the thing. You're able to eat out every day at great spots. You don't even got to cook if you don't want to. And on top of that, speaking of cooking, the groceries. You go to a supermarket and you spending nothing. I remember one time I only spent like $50 for hella groceries in Turkey. $50 less than that in Spain. Hella shit. Almost a whole week's of groceries for 30 to $50. And let me not even talk about the alcohol, especially in Spain. I've never seen prices for alcohol cheaper than what I did in Spain. It blew my mind. We're talking bottles this big as sangria, wine for literally 10 euros. The sangria, I think, was 5 to 8 euros, but the wine bottles are 10 to 12 euros. Good quality wine. It blew my mind. I was like, what? You go out to a bar, you're over here paying a couple euros for drinks. Like there's a saying in Spain that says that alcohol is cheaper than wine. I mean, no, alcohol is cheaper than wine. I'm bugging. Alcohol is cheaper than water. And in some cases, that's true because I went to some places out there and the water is like 3, 4, sometimes even 5 because they do have the super, super large bottles and they go for 5 or 6 euros. And then you go to a bar, you go to a fucking place, and you'll get like a cerveza, a 4-pack or whatever it is for cheaper or just as much. It blew my mind how cheap fucking alcohol was. How just the cost of living out in some of these places are a fraction of the price here in America. And their lifestyles and their way of living is so much better than ours. Right? Because in America, America is great because America is the place that you want to come for to make the money. Right? There's no better place on this planet to make money than America. No better place in the world. There's no better place in the world that will offer you the opportunities that you want than America. But America is a double-edged sword because, yeah, you'll get the opportunities, you'll get the money, you'll get everything you ever wanted just as long as you work for it. But that's the thing is, you're working very hard for it. Sometimes you're working every day. You may not even see your family. You may not even be able to see your kids as much as you want to. Or you might not have much free time because you're always damn working all the time. And that's the thing about America is a double-edged sword. However, in these other countries, they put less money on money and less and more emphasis on life. Right. So they'd rather be spending time with their friends. They'd rather be with family. They'd rather be in the bars, just drinking and having fun and dancing and singing and siesta is such a huge thing in Spain where they shut down the businesses in the middle of the day just to drink and eat and sleep and nap. And then they go back to work for another hour or two. And that's if they go back to work because they don't give a fuck about work out there. You go out to these restaurants, bro, and you'll be lucky to get your meal in less than an hour because these people don't give a damn, bro. They'll literally you'll order a drink at a restaurant. They won't come back for another 30 minutes to give you your drink. Oh, sir, I need a straw. You forgot the straw. Okay, I'll be back. Another 30 minutes for the straw. And then after they give you the straw, they're like, hey, the food will be out in a couple minutes. Minoticos. That's what they say. Oh, minoticos. Minoticos, like minutes, a couple minutes. Minoticos. Or minutos, right? Minutos is the proper way to say it, but they'll say minoticos because they're trying to make it seem like the food's going to be out very quickly. Minoticos. And it'll be the minoticos will turn to aroticos, where it'll be a couple hours before you get your food. I'm like, God damn, these motherfuckers went to the farm and fucking got this food. God damn. This shit take forever because these motherfuckers won't give a fuck. And that's how suave everything is outside the country. They don't care. They put less emphasis on work and more emphasis on life. The way of living, the just how life is out overseas in some of these countries, not all, but some of them is just fantastic. And just imagine having all of these things be affordable to you, right? So the great restaurants, the hotels, the apartments, the fact that you're able to go, and that's another thing I left off was the activities. You're able to go to all the activities for a fraction of the price, right? The same things I mentioned to y'all, bowling, go-karting, all this shit. This is nothing in other countries. You're spending dimes and nickels on this shit. Not literally, but you're spending chump change on this shit. And the crazy part is it's better than here. I know freaking bowling alleys and shit away from the country that has like these state of the art bars and clubs inside of it, and they look fantastic. And they even have a restaurant inside of it. Everything combined, like the fucking a bowling alley on steroids, right? You go to a bowling alley over here, no offense, they look like shits from the 1980s and shit, 1960s. That shit looked like my grandfather fucking bowled on that shit. These bowling alleys from Colombia and some of these other places look like they just been built in the last 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck? This shit crazy. They got stripper poles in here. Like, god damn. You know what I mean? A fraction of the price. So you're able, like I said, it's very affordable. You're able to do everything you want. Another thing is the lifestyle out in these places are great. It's a better work-life balance in these places. And then on top of that, your US dollar runs deep. You know how addictive that type of shit is, that type of lifestyle. It's like a recipe for success. It's everything you've ever wanted. You're able to do what you want when you want because it's cheap. The lifestyle is dope. Everyone's happy around you. Everyone's having a good time. You're having a good time. And then on top of that, you have an even better time on top of that because you got US currency coming into your bank account. And then the cherry on the top is the spicy senorita that you came to visit or that you're traveling with. right? The foreign woman that you're dating, the woman abroad that you're dating, that's the cherry on the top. Bro, it's just like, what con do I? There's no cons there. It's just straight pros. You know what I mean? The only con is that you do have to go back to the States and go back to the misery and the sadness of being average. But when you're outside the country with this girl and you got your US money together and things are cheaper, everyone's happier, way of living is good, you're able to do what you want at any moment, it's unbeatable. It's addictive. It's kind of like you're getting a small taste of just how celebrities feel in a sense. But sometimes it's even better because you of course people ain't fucking following you everywhere. Paparazzi ain't following you everywhere, right? So you do get your privacy. You're able to walk the streets with no issues. So in a way, sometimes it's even better than being a celebrity. Like honestly, I was thinking about it. It's like, what's better? Is it better to make 100K in America, right? And you're living in America, or making 50K USD, that is, and living overseas, being a digital nomad? Like, what's better? I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know people here in the States that are making 100K that are still living paycheck to paycheck. Because the problem is, of course, they don't know how to manage their money, right? So it's not all because of the economy and the government and the country, right? I'm not trying to blame everything. Sometimes people really do have bad money skills to where even though they're making 100K and even though they are making more money, they decide, okay, let me, rack up the spending because I'm making more money. Because they're putting up their spending, it's pretty much even with how much they're making. So they're not really saving much. Right. So it's not all on the economy and the government and the country. But 50K in a different country could be better. That 50K is going to feel like 100K. Everything's a fraction of the price, super affordable. Way of living is dope, right? The work-life balance is great. In fact, you're not going to be working really over there. You're going to be working, you know, remotely, right? So your company in the United States, you're going to be working remotely from a different country, making 50K a year with a beautiful woman next to you. That might be better, in my opinion, than making 100K in the States. Let me know what you guys think. What's better, making 100K in the United States or making 50K living overseas? What's better to you? All right. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, is everything is much cheaper overseas. I'm trying to think of anything else I'm leaving out. So yeah, you're not breaking the bank overseas, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Traveling is expensive. The flights are expensive. All right. The stays can still be expensive. Now it's cheaper. Let's just say if let's put it into let's think about this real quick. The city center in Istanbul is still going to be money. You're still spending a couple $100s. But if you compare that to being in Times Square in New York City, a hell of a lot cheaper. Any city center in any city in the United States, it would be a lot more expensive than a city center in Istanbul, than a city center in Madrid, than a city center in any of these other European, Asian, Latin American cities and countries. So even though it can be it can still be a little bit pricey, it's still better than city center in the United States. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot of pros and benefits to dating overseas, and there's a lot of stuff that I haven't even mentioned for time's sake. Maybe I might make another volume to this. Who knows? Because we're about to be in April. Things will be picking up very soon. So of course, because things will be picking up, I'll be getting a lot more experiences. And that's only better for everyone around, because that means that's more content, that's more videos, more inspiration. So I can't wait to bring y'all guys more overseas content, passport bro content, because I don't want to say that I am a passport bro. You know what I mean? I'm just Jamie Woods. That's who I am. I'm not a passport bro. I'm not a red pill content creator. I'm not a dating. I'm Jamie fucking Woods. You know what I mean? And sure, I do make my dating videos. I make my motivation videos. I make all that shit. I make, passport bros content from time to time. But I don't like to label myself anything. I'm Jamie Woods. That's who I am. I'm not a passport bro. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'm Jamie Woods. But I have a lot of great content coming for y'all. I can't wait to talk about it with y'all. A lot of good overseas dating abroad content. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. All right, so let's do a little recap. I wish I could show you guys a visual aid, but again, I couldn't because my laptop was acting up. But dating overseas can be a breath of fresh air. So very little games, very little BS, very little toxicity. Yes, you'll still be dealing with this, or you'll still be dealing with this type of shit overseas, right? But it won't be as much as if you're in America. Learn more about the world. So you're gonna be learning more about different cultures, countries. You're gonna learn a language. There's so much benefits that come to dating overseas that you wouldn't really get if you were dating locally. Because dating locally, you know everything about your surroundings, right? You know everything about American culture. You know English. You know everything. Not really much that you're learning. But when you're going to a different country, there's a lot you're gonna be learning, and because you're learning all that, it makes you grow as an individual. Number 3, seeing them is always an experience. So yeah, every time you see this individual, just know it's gonna be a banger. Okay, just know that you're gonna be having a great time with this individual, a life changing time, a time that you'll never forget. Number 4, everything is cheaper overseas. So everything's more affordable overseas. You're able to do everything you ever wanted overseas for a fraction of the price, right? You wouldn't be able to do half of those things. You wouldn't be able to do 3/4, maybe most of those things in America because it was so damn expensive, right? You're not gonna be able to do a helicopter ride or all this other shit, right? Because it's fucking expensive in America compared to overseas where it's a couple bucks, right? Maybe $100 for a fucking helicopter ride. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's much cheaper overseas. So that's one of the benefits. It's definitely the benefits of dating overseas. And of course, it's definitely more than gentlemen, but I wanted to keep it short and not really because what am I? Am I a little over an hour of speaking? So I think it's the right amount of time. I'm trying to make my live streams a little bit shorter. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out first off, subscribe, hit that like button, hit the share, comment, tell me what you guys think, and tell me what you guys want to see more of. Tell me what type of content you want to see more of. Please, I would love to hear it in the comment section what you guys think of what you guys want more of. That way I can give y'all what you want. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going with whatever I want to put out. You know what I mean? So yeah, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Patreon, ladies and gentlemen, for exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. All right, for all the dogs, strictly for the fellas. All right, check it out, $5 a month for the cheapest. Check out my Teespring. I have a lot of hoodies, merch there. Of course, that's in the description center, so make sure you check that out, man. I will definitely appreciate if you guys check that out, and if you buy, even better. If you do buy, make sure to send me a picture of yourself with the hoodie or the shirt or whatever it is that you got, so that way I can promote you. Because I would love to shout out any of my supporters that get my stuff, man. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you. Follow me on Instagram, Jamie.woods11. God damn. Oh yeah, y'all. See, that's the problem is since I've been waking up earlier by this time of the day, I get so tired. Like I would love to do live streams in the middle of the day because I feel like I'd be able to be more energized, but by the end of the day, I get so tired. But Jamie.woods11, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I think that's also in the descriptions. All this that I'm telling you guys is in the description center. And then my TikTok at JamieWoods11. Follow that as well. I'm very active on all social media outlets. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much that for the benefits of dating overseas. And like I told you, I might make a second video on this, as I feel like there still is a lot more shit that I left off, and I only left off because of time's sake, you know. But guys, listen, thank you guys so much for everything, and we will be back next Monday for another live stream. Okay, so guys, that's pretty much that. I'm gonna leave you with this outro. Take care, guys. I'll see you next Monday.
Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca. Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca. Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca. Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca. Minha mãe me xinga, mamãe, essa menina é bipolar. Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca. Minha mãe me xinga, mamãe, essa menina é bipolar. Eu vou com carinho, ela quer com força, ela bota a mão, depois bota a boca, ela gosta que nós é vida louca, que ela ama que nós é vida louca.
Vai, vai, vai.